at the end of the first Gulf War, the Israelis made a decision that the greatest threat to them was Iraq, Saddam Hussein, because he had fired 48 missiles into their country, and they believed he was keeping missiles, or he had the potential to reconstitute missiles with chemical weapons, and Israel could not accept that. So from 1991 to 1993, they practiced to assassinate Saddam, who they viewed as an irrational character who had to be removed. And they actually came very close to assassinating him. They had his uncle Kharala had died. There was going to be a funeral in the fall of 1993, or 1992, 1993, around, I think 92 perhaps. And the Israelis had actually sent commando teams into Iraq to reconnaissance this place. They had the whole assassination lined up. They did their last second rehearsal before the troops went off to kill Saddam, and a mistake happened. They fired a live rocket when they should have not, and they killed some soldiers, and it got bad press. And suddenly, you couldn't assassinate Saddam anymore. But this opened a window where the Israelis were like, well, what do we do? And so enter me and some others, and we came in and said, hey, why don't you work with us to eliminate the threat of weapons of mass destruction, and buy into the notion that Iraq can be contained if it doesn't have weapons of mass destruction, that Saddam can be part of the family of nations as long as he can't threaten you with weapons of mass destruction. This required Israel to go through a very major rethink. I worked with the colonel whose job was to be Saddam Hussein, and spent hours talking to him about the reality of the Iraqi regime, how it functioned. He knew a lot. I knew a lot. We just started working. And then they started to see how the Iraqis were responding to the inspections, and the notion that Iraq could be disarmed was raised. And the Israelis changed their position. By 1998, when I left, they had decided that Iraq could be disarmed, and that if Iraq was disarmed, that Iraq no longer posed a threat. They also changed their mind about Saddam Hussein, saying he's a rational actor, and as long as he can be engaged economically, et cetera,